going to share with you 4 ways that you can incorporate edible plants into your landscape. Hey, this is Rama with Gracious Landscape Designs on the Earthly Landscapes blog. Before I tell you how to incorporate edible plants into your landscape, I make videos about drought-tolerant plants, California native plants, sustainability, anything and everything in between. So if you'd like to get more of that content in your feed, then hit the red subscribe button. I am also a residential landscape designer, so if you do need a landscape designer, I will have a link to my business website in the description of the video down below. So the purpose of growing edible plants, and why I always recommend it to as many clients as I can, is because you get to eat off of your own garden. You get to grow the herbs and the produce and the vegetables that you can eat off of, that were not pasteurized, were not sprayed with pesticides or some sort of chemical, and that are freshly picked. So you're eating fresh and you're saving money because you're not having to consistently go to the grocery store and spend money on that one particular item. Now, the first way that you can incorporate edible plants into your landscape is to have raised beds. I always recommend that the raised beds be at least 2 foot off of the ground. First of all, because that way you don't have to bend over every time you need to pick something or do something in the raised bed. And secondly, it prevents dogs and little kids from getting in there and kind of messing up the soil and pulling the plant and whatnot. And what's nice with having raised beds is you can put them pretty much anywhere in the garden, provided that you put them in mostly sunny area. And it's movable, it's interchangeable. If you have it high enough to where you can just stand and garden, it works perfectly. The second way that you can incorporate edible plants into your garden is through pottery. So let's say, for example, you've designed a beautiful garden, or you had it designed and installed, and your plants are a mixture of red flower colors, pinks and purples, and maybe a touch of white or yellow, and you decide you want to add a hint of blue. What you could do is, for example, have blue pottery in your landscape, and in those pots around the landscape grow your edibles. The pots will add interest and something different and a different texture to the garden, and the edibles within the pots will actually add the things that you can eat off of. The third way that you can have edible plants in your garden is to garden up. And what I mean by gardening upward is either using woolly pockets or railing planters. Like, for example, with woolly pockets, you can screw them to the wall or zip tie them to the railing. And if you don't have enough room for edibles and you barely have enough room to garden, then in those woolly pockets around your garden, you can have your edible plants. And it can be high enough that you can still reach it, that it's not in the ground where you have to get down. And the fourth way that you can have edible plants in your garden is to just plant it directly in the soil. And how you would do that is, typically in design, we create plants in masses. And you would leave a little area somewhere in the garden or some places around the garden where you would then plant your herbs and plant your vegetables and whatnot. Now, in regards to what to plant, there's no one right answer, and realistically the right answer is depending on you and what you want to grow and what you want to eat off of your own garden. And being able to have edible gardens in your landscape is also good if you've got kids, that they can get involved. Maybe you have 3 different pots of edible plants in your garden. One pot is mom's pot, one pot is daddy's pot, one pot's the little boy's pot, and you each have your own pot where you grow whatever edibles you want.